Hi there, welcome to a special update for the Save the Garden petition drive. I'm Brooks Gibbs, a Clearwater resident, with my fellow committee members, Jill, Kelly, Tony, and Jessica. As you know, our petition is simply voter approval for the vacation of right-of-way in the downtown area. That means if they want to sell the street known as Garden Avenue, and if the city wants to vacate that and sell it to somebody, it has to go straight to the ballot box. And so we've been working hard collecting your signature, thousands, and we are well on our way to our 10,000 number goal. But it has both been a blessing and a hardship, quite a burden, but it has been a blessing. And I want to talk about that first. Think of some ways, and I haven't prepped you guys for this, so I'm just totally like right out of the gate, putting you on the spot, but in what ways has taking on this initiative, something none of us have ever done before, in what ways has it been a blessing?
Boy, it's been a pleasure getting to know more of our neighbors here in Clearwater. It has been incredible to see the unity and how this effort is bringing people from all sorts of backgrounds together for something good for our city.
That's true. Democrat, Republican, atheist, Christian, Catholic, I mean, everybody, every type of religion. You know, even some Scientologists have actually signed this, you know, believing that there does need to be protection effort. Now, a lot of people think we're actually against the Church of Scientology because our signs, of course, they stop Scientology from taking our streets, you know, sign the petition here. But I want to make it very clear, we're not against a religion. We're against a single institution playing the game of Monopoly and winning. The Church of Scientology owns over 75% of the buildings downtown, and they keep it shut, always with the promise of activating it, yet we never see that action. And so the citizens have said, enough is enough. We shouldn't have an unbalanced downtown. We need to make it available for everyone. And to think of losing our streets now to the dominated institution is too much for most citizens to bear. In what other ways has it been a blessing for you guys, you think?
I think it's a blessing getting to know you guys. Like it's been nice getting to know your family, you sharing a cigar, a drink. Those are nice. I really like the camaraderie of things. I like that people coming together, new friendships, getting to know people. I know me and Team Jelly met off of city council meetings, and then that's how I met you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I really thank God for. I think it's when you bring people together that things truly happen, and that's what I think is magical about this. It's just a small group started us talking, you getting involved, you taking the lead, and it grows from there. And that's where I think things are really magical, and like in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I feel like we've become a family.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice to see it's not just our fight anymore. Yeah. You know, more people out there that are willing to fight too.
For those of you that don't know, Tony and Jessica are the future of downtown. They have invested, well, they say tears, years, and dollar bills, y'all. And those are the things that they have poured into downtown. As you know, Captain Cigar is there, which is a place we like to gather. Prelude is there, a sports bar that's awesome, and then that awesome piano bar called Nash Keys. I'm about to move into the hardship aspect of this, you know, because I think that's what most people really want. They ask us, you know, has it been a hardship? In fact, I would say out of every 10 houses that we knock on, 7 are gone. I don't know where y'all are, Clearwater, but you're not there, okay? And we try to leave a little card at your door so you could find us and sign the petition. But we'll have 3 open up to us. 2 will eagerly sign. All 3 want to eagerly sign, but one of those homes says, no, I'm scared because the Church of Scientology might find my information and harass me or put me on some sort of list where they're going to target my livelihood. There is legit fear. I'm not just saying this, folks. I don't lie, okay? This is a absolute, God-honest reality in our city, is that a third of our audience is not willing to sign our petition because they are afraid. That is the reputation of the Church of Scientology. And for good reason. When I decided to get into this at Jill's encouragement and Kelly's encouragement, I was warned by my closest friends, if I'm going to do it, be warned because they will attack my livelihood. They will follow me. They being the Church of Scientology. Now, it's real tricky when we're getting into the hardship. the way these institutions work is you cannot prove completely that this is a direct result of the Church of Scientology, but you can make a direct correlation that when I started this, that's when the harassment came. When I started this, that's when my livelihood struggled. When I started this, that's when the online slander started. Everything before then was pretty good. But once we started Save the Garden project, all of a sudden a hell broke loose and it has become a hardship. Bunny, I want to start with you as someone who is a merchant downtown. What are some of the challenges you've had that you believe are directly correlated with your involvement with Save the Garden?
Well, I think just starting a business in downtown, as I started a business and started building it, I realized there was like almost like an invisible hand that moves everything. And at first you kind of like go about and you're like, well, it's not really that. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's not real. And as more things start to happen, permits take longer, stagnation, things don't want to progress the way that a city should progress, you start to ask questions. And that's kind of how I started communicating with you guys. And then we did Save the Garden. We did well. We had our little victory, and that was amazing. From that moment on, the harassment then picked up right again. Before we got involved, you guys, we've gotten death threats. We've gotten told to get out of the town. We've gotten even people coming into our place with cameras, stalking not only our employees, but our staff. Very uncomfortable things that seem harmless, but they're more
Intimidation.
They feel malicious. It's not that they're actually physically harming us, but it feels malicious, and that deters people constantly. When I was
The feeling of being watched.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like you're always being watched by somebody.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason other than just that we have our businesses down there.
But yeah, it did escalate even more so after Save the Garden. We've gotten the parking lot behind us that was originally free now is towing our customers. We've gotten now anonymous health code complaints, anonymous calls, like just constantly now. And it's even from our customers being outside and partaking on beverage and dance, and we get complaints about that. Noise ordinance, anything they can complain, they will complain about. And they're always an unknown person. We always don't know who it is, but the complaints always come in. Anytime we're busy, expect a complaint. And that's just, it's hard to be a merchant downtown when you believe in the community and you're trying to make it grow, but you feel like the people around you don't want to let it grow. And it's something that you touch base on. It's double speak. They tell you they're for the community. They tell you for growth. They tell you they're for the downtown. They have these Clearwater Alliance, Downtown Alliance, all these nonprofits that Scientology has, but the doors are closed. They never partake. And if they do events, they discourage more than they help. Like, that's the truth. I just don't know. I don't necessarily know what else to say that pertains to that, but it's apparent.
Your businesses are a critical aspect to New Downtown. You're in the building that's the only building left on Cleveland Street there that's not owned by the Church of Scientology. And so I encourage everyone to be a patron of these great stores. So, I'd like to talk about Team Jelly. I call that affectionately Jill and Kelly. They're very much administrative for our movement here. You guys have been stopped a little bit. You've been followed. You've had cameras pulled out. I mean, just share some of the experiences. I'm sure you've never seen so many middle fingers in your entire life or been told to F off by Scientologists, but I know you have because I've been there.
So my personal story is that early on in our Save the Garden initiative, Miss Barbara had been helping put out some of our signs, yard signs in the downtown area. And because the city was going to be mowing some grass on a right-of-way, they wanted her to come back out in the heat and remove a yard sign so the mowing could happen. And I said, I'll do that for you. So I go downtown. I find the sign that needs to be pulled up out of the ground, and I proceed to walk down the sidewalk and then get in my vehicle, and I'm driving home, and I notice a dark SUV security type vehicle tailing me. And it even had one of those specific lights up on one of the
Like a spotlight.
on the driver's side mirror area. And I thought, this is so strange. So I started recording. And I was followed about halfway home just because I was downtown, part of Save the Garden, and removing a sign. And that was after I also had a vehicle parked out front of my home, in front of a bush out in front there. And now potentially being under investigation by our Clearwater Police Department. And I'm not deterred because I rest in Christ and in truth. And but, it's not okay. And I think the more we talk about this is so healing and important, because not only for merchants, but citizens, what's happening in our city, it's just so crucial.
I agree.
That we stop ignoring the elephant in the room.
Yeah, which is what Gabe Cazares, who was a former mayor, called a paramilitary terrorist organization. That's what he called the Church of Scientology.
We can verify now that what has happened here is that for the first time in the over 200 years that our nation has existed, an American city has been taken over, has been occupied. This is a virtual occupation, a military-type occupation by a paramilitary terrorist organization.
I probably have received the most amount of discrediting campaigns. As soon as I started, and we had victory of Save the Garden, and they Church of Scientology withdrew their application because of the pressure that we applied. I have all of a sudden websites started to pop up about me. For those of you that don't know me, I work in schools, and I have for 25 years, and I speak to students. I teach them mental health, and my PhD is in social psychology. I've been doing this for 25 years. 3,000 schools have hired me. I make my living online, and I get invited to speak places, and I sell books and stuff like that. Well, they must have been, I'm making a correlation here, the Church of Scientology, at least the delegated agents, have targeted me and falsely accused me of having felons, being a danger to children. When I go speak somewhere and they publicize that I'm speaking there, like a school in South Dakota, for example, we receive communication from our client, in this case the school, that the media have been contacted, the superintendent has been contacted, and as well as the principal have been contacted that by individuals that are anonymous with emails like pascalswager@gmail.com, saying that I'm a danger to children. It would be a grave mistake to have me speak in front of those children. I do psychological damage to children and stuff like this. And the client's like, whoa, what is this? Thankfully, the clients have been following me for 10 years, and they know that I'm legit. And they say, I don't know who your troll is, but your troll has teeth, man. They are really coming for you. In addition to that, actually, some of you may not know this, but I became an ordained minister at 20 years old, and I've spent 15 years pastoring churches. And there have been churches who've wanted me to be their senior pastor. One particular church was looking for a senior pastor right there off of McMullen Booth. And I was in the running for a senior pastor role out of 85 people. I got first place. They wanted me to be their senior pastor. This is just a few months ago. And we went through the whole process and all the interviews, and I was now going to take on that church as my congregation. And the week of the vote, which is a congregational vote, there was a full-on campaign by someone related to the Church of Scientology sending and scaring these emails directly to the congregation members. That created such a dissension, such a controversy, that by the time it got to vote, the church did not confirm my appointment. You look at the Church of Scientology fear game, which they say no longer exists, but it does actually in practice.
But the thing that really frustrated me is when they started to come at you, at Kelly and my wife. Fraud allegations for her.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Rewind before the police come to your door. We're going about our petition, sweat, dust, whatever. We're gathering signatures. And I get a call at home one day from our city clerk asking for Jessica's phone number. And I said, oh, sure. I'm sure I have that. Yeah. And what's this about? And well, I received a tip that Jessica is not a registered voter in Clearwater. And I just was like, whoa. I was shocked. I said, this is the first time I was hearing about this. What will this do to our initiative? And well, it's possible that it all might get thrown out. And I said, oh my goodness, you're going to have thousands of voters upset about this. I was stunned, frankly. And so I gave her Jessica's number and I didn't hear anything else about it.
So tell me what happens. An actual detective shows up.
Well, I just want to touch base on why she wasn't registered.
I think
We moved down on kind of like on a, I wouldn't say on a whim, but a little bit rushed. You know, we were moving down, we're moving the family, the mother-in-law, the kids. And during this process, we go to the DMV and we get, and we're getting registered. I'm a voter.
We went together with our 1-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
And so we went, you know, nobody likes going to the DMV to begin with. Let alone with your child, okay, who wants to just run around and be a crazy.
We're swapping her here and there.
We were passing her back and forth. We're trying to get everything signed. We're trying to do everything. And, you know, I'm taking my photo, holding hands with her, and she's like underneath. And so nobody even knows, but she's standing there. And so it was a bit of a chaotic day. And, you know, you think you check all the boxes and you did all the things and stuff. And then you know, move on and keep going. And so apparently I didn't check the box of to register to vote. And he had done it, so he was all set with that.
Yeah, I even talked to her. I was like, oh, you registered? I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So then
You were under the impression that you were
exactly.
a voter.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Nothing about this.
Well, Terrence Lighty went ahead and got a homicide detective to actually approach you guys.
Yeah, so we were actually not home at the time, but I got home. My mom's like, hey, the cops were here. They're looking for you. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, it was a detective. They want to ask you some questions. And, you know, it was kind of out of the blue for us. We were like, you know, what happened? What's going on? Did something happen downtown? And they were specifically looking for me, not for him or anybody else. So that
I
was,
assumed it was for me.
you know, we give them a call as soon as we get back. And sure enough, it was about this. And they were just questioning, you know, did you know? Were you under the impression that you were a voter, or did you not, you know, did you actively not know? Did you even read it? Did you, all the
Does that take fraud?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were trying to detect fraud.
The police officer was very
I mean,
kind.
she was very kind. She was very understanding to her situation. You know, I just explained exactly what I explained to you guys. We were under the impression that I was. So to me, if something says, hey, are you a registered voter? I'm going to say yes, because in my mind, I was, you know, I did all the things that I needed to do. And, you know, it didn't seem like she was that concerned over the situation. She just wanted to double check and see what was going on, that kind of thing.
She said that she had to do it. She had to follow up on the report. And then I think it's if you know Jessica, she's a straight edge. She's like, I'm the vocal, I'll have one too many drinks and stuff. She
follow
won't.
the rules.
She'll follow the rules to the point of her own demise. Like, we'll play Monopoly and
I usually lose.
she's the rule follower.
Follow all the rules.
Yeah. So to have that happen to her and her mother, they're terrified. The police comes in, they're nervous, and I genuinely do believe it's just an intimidation factor.
But they also said that it wasn't just me, that there were 5 people that they were looking into about the situation. I still don't know who those 5
Well, that would be us 5, I would imagine. Angie.
Yeah.
I just want to point out the irony here that a fraudulent or fake person, we don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady, named Terrence Lighty, wrote to the city clerk and said, I am a concerned citizen of Clearwater and voter, proceeded to tell on Jessica. I have found that, you know, one of the committee members is not a registered voter, and went on to tell the city clerk that shouldn't this just all be nullified then? And even implicated that there was an alleged fraudulent purpose behind your signing and not being a voter. And this whole time, Terrence Lighty is not
The true fraud.
Yes, he is not a citizen of Clearwater and not a voter of Clearwater.
And I'd like to point out, why would we start on a bad foot and purposely
I know.
make a fraudulent initiative that would blow the thing up anyway? So it's ludicrous.
Yes. Well, and I my heart went out to you, the signer of the petition, because we are responsible for this initiative, and it is our due diligence that we feel the burden to make sure that we're doing everything right. And I was actually thankful that it came to light that Terrence, in his effort, whoever he, she, they is, in their effort to disqualify us, gave us a great heads up. We have not yet submitted these signature sheets to the clerk, which means we have time to change it. This is known as a clerical or technical error, and it is legal precedent that the signatures are tied to the ballot, not to the petition committee. So if the petition committee makes a mistake, then it can be corrected in the process as long as it's done before the certification of the sheets, the signature sheets. So thank you, Terrence.
And I just want to go back to what you said about when we heard that there was a person trying to nullify the voice of the Clearwater citizens that have come out. At that time, there was over 5,000 that had already come out. And the type of people we've met that have come out are, people who brought their elderly parents or grandparents who got out of the car with their walkers or their wheelchairs just to come sign this thing and then go right back into their car. It was the first time that they had been out in months. Like, it was not convenient for them to come. People that left work early to get to where we were to come sign. People have done inconvenient things to come sign this petition because they feel so strongly about their love for our city that they want to see it discontinuing to be overtaken. And to think that there is someone in our city that is trying to silence that voice is what made my heart just broken at the thought that I don't know what's going to be the outcome of this allegation, but it's not right to try to silence the voice of our Clearwater citizens.
There are more technicalities the city's trying to pull. For example, the other technicality they're trying to say is that only 5 of us that are making up of the petition committee, we're the only ones allowed, apparently, according to the city, to collect signatures, which means we're not allowed to have what's called circulators, trained individuals that are volunteers that circulate these petitions. In what city?
Which is news to us, and that is absolutely not how we interpreted this ordinance that we all signed with a notary. It does not clearly indicate that only these 5 are allowed to gather signatures. It does say that we're responsible for the circulation of the petition forms, but it does not clearly state that we are the only 5 allowed to gather signatures. There's a difference between those two.
Yeah. The responsibility means liability. We are responsible. We're the ones that are taking ownership of this project and overseeing, delegating, and empowering. I see with the marijuana petition that the statewide, initiative is happening right now. Guys from Colorado and other states are flying in to be the circulators and gather signatures. In other words, it is such a horrible interpretation of our city charter that is deliberately against our movement, which is a violation of our First Amendment right to petition the government for grievances. When they being the city, undue burdens to hinder you, the citizen, from petitioning the government for grievances, in this case, giving up streets without voter approval, well, then that's a violation of our First Amendment. So we have a great case as we build our team, and we're asking anyone who wants to be a consultant on that team, please reach out to us. But we're confident that we're going to be able to continue to move forward, acquire all the signatures necessary, and get this on the ballot. Our new deadline is going to be the end of April because we're going to be on the, is it the August or November? But I believe it's the August ballot. So you can vote yes on this particular initiative. But I think that's a good update. I think that's just about it. Is there anything else on anyone's mind?
I do have one other item. The church that had asked you to be your pastor, you had mentioned them. Well, there's another church that Scientology was trying to insinuate collusion with, and that's my own church. And they have sent letters to the city accusing myself, my pastor, and our mayor of collusion. And it's all in freedom of information, but it hasn't come out in the public. And I think the public should know that as well, that, boy, there are all sorts of tentacles and avenues they're trying to take down our initiative. And it's not okay.
You know, it's interesting. We get every once in a while, not often, but some people will say, well, why is just this one little street so important? And we say, well, we believe that this sets a precedent, right? If someone in our downtown can come and take one of our public streets without our approval, and we're the ones paying taxes on the street, like that's our street, what would that mean for the future? But I would also like to turn it on the Church of Scientology. Why is this one little street so important? Are there other things you want that you believe that you will continue to get? Will our downtown even remain available to us one day? Or will it no longer be open to the citizens of Clearwater? You know, that very same question, why would they seek to destroy your business, to try to ruin your livelihood, to follow you and accuse you of collusion, to accuse you of fraud? Why would they go through all of that for one little street? There's more to the story.
I want to add one more thing. I have a pretty good relationship with people in the city and stuff like that, and the concern they've had, the quietness they feel, the pulling back even with our relationships is unusual. And that's what kind of like I've been feeling recently.
There's so much fear.
Yeah, there's so much pulling back. And these are figures in this community that I don't want to mention that have power and seat here. And they do feel the pressure. And the thing that concerns me the most is the like you said, the obstacles that are being put in place to make this not happen. Yeah. And like, I think I might be quoting this wrong, but I've heard from one of you guys, it was like, it doesn't matter if this is the issue, they'll find another issue to shut it down. And that's how I felt when I was starting my business. If it wasn't for one thing, they were going to find another thing. If it wasn't for this, they're going to find another thing. And I think
I feel like it continues to be like that.
It does continue to be like that.
Know?
Anything in downtown, it seems harder to get things done intentionally. Because I do believe there's people in the city that don't want downtown, that are aligned with the Church of Scientology. And it's just, I hope to bring a light to it. I hope to how we're getting harassing, and Joe Schmo is calling the city constantly. I don't know the guy's Terrence. I want to feel like there should be a call to action where we should contact our city officials. We should tell them that this is something we want. We should blast their emails, contact your city officials, contact the mayor, reach out. The police force, tell them why they're harassing the citizens. Tell them why they're making this policy so difficult to pass.
Right.
It's the ownership of this problem is not just ours, but it's on the people. You want to see the change in your city. You want to be part of its growth. We're asking for your help.
And you've come out to bravely put your name and address on this paper to let your voice be heard. Let your voice be heard one more time.
Yeah.
Email the council, email the city staff, let them know this is your desire as well.
Tell them it's your city. Don't back down.
Yeah.
We as citizens are due for a town hall. We were told that we would have quarterly town halls in our city, and we haven't had one since our last one in April. Also, we do not have the ability to put in the sunshine our grievances and to talk openly about this particular issue or any issue the citizens have, because we've had the public comment on any item not on the agenda removed from most of our meetings. There's a few meetings where it's still available, but we have some things that we need to fix here in our city. So yes, email our leadership. But again, communication is key. And when we're talking together, that's where the power of we the people is most effective.
Yeah.
I agree.
I want to thank you for bringing that up, because that is our call to action for you today. We have a special form on our website that allows you to send one message to all the council members. You can just fill in the comment section, fill it out, your message to them, what's on your heart, what you want them to know, because they are the stopgap to protect our city's streets. Believe it or not, even if the city attorney and the city clerk throw out our 10,000 signatures because of they can't read it, or because she wasn't a registered voter at the time, or because we had circulators besides us that were actually collecting the signatures, though they were trained. It doesn't matter. Even a rejected petition initiative goes to the city council, and the city council can override the clerk's rejection and push it straight through the ballot box. So ultimately, it's your communication directly to our city council members that matters most. They need to hear from you. They have told us they believe the room that they have meetings in is bugged. Why? Because it's owned by the Church of Scientology. They had told us directly in meetings that they are followed and harassed and they are surveilled by the Church of Scientology. It is a burden to deal with this. That is why our great late mayor, Gabe Cazares, knew that this was a difficult institution that he was up against, and they are in the position to contend for the people. So go to our website, savethegarden.org. Make sure you fill out that little comment form. It'll immediately message the attorney, the manager, all 5 city council members, and the clerk. Those are the core people involved in making sure this gets to the ballot. And I just want to thank you for continuing to get the word out. We have signature stations throughout the city. We are trying to be out there daily, but certainly we're making a regular opportunity for you to sign. If you haven't signed yet, make sure you do. You have to be a Clearwater resident, and tell 5 friends. You do this, and in a couple months' time, we will reach our 10,000 mark. Thank you guys so much for being part of this incredible committee, this great adventure. And it's been, you know what? If we had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing.
I agree.
Then make sure you.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
All right. God bless you.